the door. I was quite famous in my day. Perhaps you've heard of me. Hey, you! Leave your axe at the door. Oh, goody. Adventurers.
Mogul, I made a map of the city. Here's me beating up Dane Firehand, and there's the sun, and it's happy 'cause he's dead.
Why would the sun be happy, Grimdar? Never mind. That's not even a map.
I don't know how to make maps. Do I have to bink or bonk?
No, you have to ink. Carnet.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Incarnate.com is a web-based map-making tool.
Web? Like Loth?
No, Grimdar. Interweb.
Oh, like two webs.
No, Grimdar, let me finish my bit. Bring your fantasy worlds to life in stunning detail. Go to incarnate.com and sign up today. Don't be like Grimdar.
Oh. Bink, bink.
Look who it is. Oh, please, regale me with your tales.
Bran, look. I found gems for games. Oh, no. Dice. Tarhan said dice. Do you want to play?
Grimdar, what are you doing? You've thrown them everywhere.
Oh, I keep dropping them. I need something to help me roll.
Grimdar, what you need is a scroll rolling tray from Elderwood Academy. Mage Hand. The scroll rolling tray comes in 7 different colors of leather and 13 different unique image designs in 10 different foil colors.
Oh, is that magic? I can do magic.
You can also choose from 2 different wood colors and 6 different flourishes.
Bran, I broke my dice. They're small now.
Grimdar, how?
Help me.
Go to elderwoodacademy.com to purchase scroll rolling trays, dice towers, dice boxes, and more.
I can still swing a sword.
If you're looking for easy money, I'm your guy. It's a simple job. Let me know if you're interested.
Hey, you! Leave your axe at the door.
Tarhan! Tarhan! Help me! I broke my friends!
Grimdar, you did what?
I shrunk Bran and Isharad!
Oh god, Grimdar, no. Those aren't.
I'm so sorry, Tarhan. I messed up bad this time.
Grimdar, these are miniatures. For games.
Bran is a miniature?
No, Grimdar. These are tabletop figures from Eldritch Foundry.
Tabletop?
Yes, Grimdar, for games. You can go to Eldritch Foundry and fully customize your own miniature and have it printed in high-quality seamless plastic.
Printed in plastic?
It's magic, Grimdar. Magic.
Oh. Oh!
Grimdar, why are you staring at me like that?
Oh! Go to bit.ly/notgreatmini to get your own incredible, customized miniature from Eldritch Foundry.
Oh, please, regale me with your tales. No. Words are common and no magic.
Look, Tarhan, I found some gems. Now I can pay Bran back.
Grimdar, my good man, those aren't gems. Those are dice. They're for games.
Games? Like wildebeests? In the grasslands?
No, Grimdar, like Dungeons and Dragons.
Do I need dice to play? Your dice are nice. Can I have yours?
No, Grimdar, you can go to diceenvy.com to buy your own cool set.
Is that another website? Mago was telling me about 2 webs.
Yeah, Grimdar, and you can use promo code NGDC to get 10% off.
Hey, you! Leave your axe at the door. I was quite famous in...
Come on in, traveler. Grab a drink. Hey,
ain't much reason to be here without one. But first, guns on the counter where we can see 'em. House rule. Alright then. Now, let's get to the part that matters. Wasn't so long ago that this world was simple. Twin souls rose over a land of dust and grit, towns rising from timber and sweat, fortunes carved from the bones beneath the dirt. The Fey Frontier. Life measured by the weight of a harvest, the sharpness of a blade, quickness of your draw, the strength of a name. But then the sky split open. A cosmic river of neon light tearing its way through the stardust, carrying with it the echoes of an unknown somewhere. And when the light faded, they remained. The remnants. Vast metal ships floating at the edge of the sky, not quite still, not quite drifting. Lights flickering, patterns without meaning, signals with no reply. Waiting. The lights went dark. Faint. Forgotten. Presence known only in the places the stars refused to shine. Years passed. The first one fell, then another, until the sky itself rained fire and ruin. Oh yeah, RUSTFall. Crashed into the desert, into the mountains, into the sea. Twisted wrecks of metal and memory, humming with something that shouldn't be alive. Some called it a warning, a sign, a reckoning. They were half right. Folks here just don't know how deep it goes. But to those with hands on the reins, their truth was simple. Power. The kind that could buy the world or bury you beneath it. Cities rose from the desert like a mirage, spires built on sweat and ambition. Neon flickered against rusted steel patched over wooden beams, bones wrapped in borrowed flesh. The old and the new don't mix easy. Men even let the rust inside, let it take hold of their hearts, till stripped steel wires ran deeper than blood. A price without mercy for strength beyond reckoning. Power enough to unravel a man, mind and soul. Madness of the highest order. Though, the ones with all the answers will tell you that that don't happen here. But ask yourself, is that the truth, or just the price of staying on top? Rust ain't the only thing can reshape a man. The ones who hold the coin, the names, the power. They do their own kind of reforging. Break a man down, rebuild him for their purpose, make him useful till he ain't. The syndicates don't ask for loyalty. And if you ever wonder what happens to those refused, well, take a walk down the Narrows after Souldown. But out beyond the lights, past the rail lines, beneath the stars, the wild still breathes. The frontier don't care for coin or syndicates. It don't barter in deception. Out there, the only currency that matters is just how far you're willing to go. Out there is where a man finds himself, discovers what it means to survive in a world such as ours. This is the world you step into, traveler. A place where fortunes are made on a handshake and lost on a shot fired too slow. A place where the rich grow richer, the poor grow desperate, and the bold, well, the bold carve their names into history. Here, old wrecks still whisper, dying engines grow beneath the dunes. Fading lights, desperate beacons in the pits, flickering with the memory of something no one was meant to understand. A land of steam and steel, neon and gunpowder, dreamers and devils, a world where flesh and dust meet smoke and rust. But you have a choice. You can wander these wastes like so many before you, another nameless soul chasing fortune or folly. Or you can make your mark in the sand. Drink up, traveler. Ain't no promise when you'll find a friendly face again. This tavern, in the lands of nowhere, if you only think about finding your way back, you're already lost. Sands of time ain't flow like that. Best sharpen those spurs and check those chambers. The Fey Frontier don't wait for no one. Get moving. Oh, hell yeah, it worked.
Nice.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are Not Great RPG, and we're here once again for the Fey Frontier RUSTFall. Happy to be back. Let me just wait on Mike, because if he's not dead, he'll post. But he could be, I suppose. And there he is, just on time. Thanks, Mike. Thank you. Thank you very much. He is alive. Wonderful to see. This will be like the thing where like an old man, orders Pizza Hut every day and they check on him when he stops ordering. If Mike doesn't post this, I'm going to send a wellness check to his house.
Yeah.
Because I will just assume that something horrible has happened.
But nobody shit in my sneakers. What am I supposed to do?
What am I supposed to do?
Spot him.
Yeah. Go to this address.
Apparently, we might be able to see the Northern Lights.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because
I love
of the
that.
solar event, we might be able to see the Northern Lights.
I love that. Amazing. We're going to go around the table real quick, introduce ourselves, and then after a brief recap, we'll pick up where we left off last time.
I'm just now seeing myself in the in-room camera, and the screen is darker here than it is on there. But I am the amorphic black blob wearing a cowboy hat known as Glenn, and I play Damon.
I'm DJ, and I play Mark II.
I'm Chell. I play Andy.
That's not Sarah, but she would be Genevieve if she were not under the weather. And I'm Don. I play everybody else tonight, largely Bongo Gesundheit. Who the party's going to hang out with. Maybe functional judge. There we go, Sarah. I'm Sarah and I play Genevieve. Functional judge.
That's a good one, actually.
Last time, Mark II and Andy are the two to arrive to breakfast first. They have a private conversation. Genevieve then joins, having decided to stick with the party. They have a private conversation. Then Damon joins and regales the party with his vision quests that he experienced by taking some drugs during the eve to try to recall his memories. Describes a rather horrifying vision full of what he would describe as the place that he is from, a ashen kind of choked sky in a cedar swamp. Also saw visions of himself floating in some sort of test tube style pool with the Rust language inscribed on the screen before falling. He says that he's terrified because he's seen some shit, but he doesn't know how else to get back what was lost. And the party's like, hey, don't do that alone. And he's like,
No.
it's bad. The Baron then joins, leads the group, as promised, to the former room of Morgan Lux, hidden in the same hallway that they had stayed in. She leaves the party to investigate. Inside, the party attempts to turn on the rust lights. They turn off immediately as if they are drained. The room itself is in a state of complete disarray, bed overturned, table flipped, candles around the room, papers and drugs scattered everywhere. The party investigates and finds broken fragments of mirrors, increasingly crazed notes about his potential meeting with Roland Bumbumbledore, whom did not show up, and people watching him. Genevieve guesses that this is what the meeting she witnessed with Morgan and an unknown figure was about, and the voice telling him to burn it when Roland did not show, despite Morgan pleading to know what it was and what it did, though at this time she isn't sure what it is.
What it do?
What it do? The candles lit, the party sees writing scrawled on the wall in slip wax, a wax frequently used by syndicates to leave hidden messages, revealed only by candlelight and invisible to rust light. The phrase over and over on every surface, the dragon is not a metaphor. Inside of the mattress, wrapped in a cloth in a leather bag, is a book-sized box with a cracked screen and rust language on it, traced into the metal, purpose-built. He ponders for a moment and is somehow able to translate it again and suspects by reading it that it is some sort of beacon or beacon locator device. The party surmises that this is what is stealing the power from the rust lights, though it does not seem to affect Mark II nor Andy's rust, as they do not themselves generate power. The party guesses that this is what Morgan was trying to deliver from Roland when he lost his mind. Mark II attempts to channel his essence into the device, sensing that it is absorbing, to try to read what it might be doing or looking for to hear that resonance. Doing so, for only a flash, he sees the remnants floating up in space and 7 gigantic objects detaching from the ships, descending down towards the surface. The party is not certain what to make of this and is worried that they do not know what to do without Ulysses, that he knew more about Morgan Lux and might have some insight as to what on earth is going on in this room.
Help!
Damon asks the Baron to get chime, several candles, and prepare for a seance because that is what he does. He wants to try to speak to whatever of Ulysses remains here so that way they can figure out how to finish what Ulysses started, not just this investigation. The Baron indicates that she will do this, but it will take some time. The party gives the Baron the beacon as it turns off the lights as they walk, and she promises to keep it safe here where it will be unnoticed and protected. They then head to the office of Elias Varn and drop the painting to him as promised to Vex Lareth, signing a document for a parcel of land between the Narrows and the surface, as Elias indicates that all things that comes through his doors are transactions, that he holds nothing. Everything must have documentation for his own protection. The party then heads back into the Narrows to Bongo's bolt hole to meet with him, to discuss Rust, and for Damon to get his favor. Now, if you'll give me a moment to set the lights and the ambiance for this place that we're going to here.
Ooh.
Let's see what we got. I got a couple of them saved. Yeah, we're gonna go with this one. A little bit. There we go. That. And
Just had to write this down so I remembered that I had a deed to one shitty burnt house.
you do have a shitty burn house.
Do indeed have a deed.
Yeah, it's
Indeed.
It says deed to one shitty burnt house, 69 Narrow Street.
Nice.
Pronounced like Beyonce. Yes, the ambiance.
The
No, the seance.
The seance.
We gonna have ourselves a seance.
So, as described, the outside of this building is in the corner of the Narrows, kind of hewn into the edges of the rock that makes up the walls of the Narrows. The building itself is very clearly purpose-built on top of an existing structure of a burned-out building. You can see where stone columns are mixed with pieces of metal, the sheet roof ceiling clearly reused from other pieces. Nothing here is decorative, nothing here has gone to waste. This is a workspace. As the party walks up to the door and pushes open this kind of sliding metal door that groans against the track that it is in, it protests the effort, and a wave of heat from inside of this building kind of rolls out to meet you, and you are met with the smell of oil, scorched steel, and old stone. Inside, you hear metal clanging against metal, and a low hum, a sharp hiss of steam. Erupting out from various places around this large space. As you step inside, the space beyond is much larger than you anticipated, descending back into an area that has clearly been carved out of the rock. At least 2-story high ceiling, open metal beams going across, supporting the space. You can see sheet metal panels lining the ceiling overhead, patched and bolted in layers, crisscrossed by rails and hanging chains.
Oil lanterns are burning on the walls in the areas where there are stone pillars, their light very warm and steady, while harsher rust lights sit on the beams above, lighting the center of the space over several lifted platforms with machinery sitting on top of it. The place is cluttered, but it is not messy. It looks as though every tool, every spare part, every half-disassembled mechanism feels placed here, even if you don't yet understand why it's here. At the center of this shop, you see a dwarven man standing between a suspended metal frame, a trail burner. One arm braced against the machine, a rust arm, very industrial, very scarred, heavy, locked in place as though it is part of the trail burner itself and not a part of him. His other hand moves with practiced ease, tightening something you can't quite see from inside of the trail burner. He does not look up when you enter. At the center, on his face, a thick beard, braided tight and weighted with dull metal threads that hang close to his chest. His hair pulled back in tight braids with wires and clips. As he tilts his head down in your direction, you see one eye, glassy and inert, a lens set in its socket, a rust lens. The other, a deep brown, watching his work with absolute focus. There is a steady hum in this room. Just the sound of something running the way it is supposed to. He reaches up, twists a control, and with another hum of steam, he nods as if satisfied and tilts his head down towards you. This rust eye flickers on a deep amber color and sees the three of you standing in the entryway, just kind of watching him tighten this.
Give me a second.
He walks to the wall and hooks a tool onto it in a very specific spot on the wall, next to a set of others just like it. Steps forward and leans on a metal bench.
All right. What broke?
Well, nothing as far as I understand. We were sent here by the Baron.
I was told to expect a group of people coming through, but I was expecting 2 more of you.
Yeah, so were we.
If you wouldn't mind a moment.
He gestures to a, X on the ground.
If you would stand there, please.
Meaning for...
Verification.
Gotcha. Step forward onto the X.
Same.
Yeah. He flips a switch. He flips a small switch beneath the bench that he is leaning on, and a blue light casts down over the group of you, and you look the same as you are. Nothing changes, and you can see his eye twisting and processing. He flips it back.
Okay. You are who you say you are. Welcome to my shop.
So you Bongo then?
The very same, yes.
Nice to finally meet you. I'm Damon.
Bongo.
I reach out my rust hand. Andy.
Yeah, he reaches out his other hand.
From the Reverie, yes. I recognize the tech anywhere, and you present yourself and hold yourself as though that is a part of you and not a tool.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. We'll have to talk about this. And you, my large fellow.
Howdy. Name's Mark II.
Yes, it is indeed. I can see this. Not original, much built on top of you.
That's the 2.
It's like a big flashing indicator above your head that just says Mark 2.
Shinigami fucking eyes.
It's your username.
He walks over
Mark, do I
and,
get the
and
chat?
kind of like reaches his hand up towards you. May I?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
He just kind of like reaches and kind of puts both of his hands on the sides of your mask, and you feel his hand and Rust hand kind of feel along the like areas of your neck where your head connects to the base.
See, if I pull this, you die.
He just kind of like gives you a once over.
Smooches you on the mouth. Kiss of opportunity.
Right on the
Yes,
forehead.
you are quite an interesting structure. Built on something. High class is not the word, but purpose built.
Oh. Nah,
Your origins, anyway.
gotcha. Yeah, I don't know much about what I was built upon, you know.
He just kind of looks in your eyes and
This thing has died, or something very close to it before.
Oh.
Him?
Like the thing I'm built upon, you mean?
That is the question, is it not? You don't rebuild on a frame like this unless you are trying to save something. Many people are not skilled in the ways of assembling things like you.
Well, I as far as I know, it was built by a simple farmer. He did build me purposefully for fighting, and you know that's what I did for a while until hooked up with these two here and struck out on my own.
What made you change your path?
I kind of didn't have a choice. When you're purpose built and purpose driven for so long, and then develop the ability to choose your own purpose, you're kind of obligated to make the change.
I know this feeling all too well. It is okay if you are purpose-driven as long as it is you that has chosen the purpose, yes?
Right, exactly.
When you did not, but now you do.
Right.
Interesting.
I tried to stop asking that question to myself for a long time ago of how something like him has free will and does what he does.
Free will is a mystery even for us that are alive.
Yeah, we believe in fate and destiny. I guess it's more so the same. It's programming.
Hard to tell where the line is before high-tech and alive. He believes that he has his purpose,
I believe him to be alive.
as do I.
I don't know, I guess traveling with him long enough, I just started seeing him as a friend. Nothing more, nothing less.
As you should.
You work with Rust often?
And he just kind of gestures to the everything everywhere.
Have you ever come across someone like Mark II?
Built on top of an existing structure like this? Not exactly. There are others like him, but It is curious. They did not attempt to fully reuse the existing frame. There are pieces built on top of it, not just for the purpose of fighting, but your frame died.
I think I meant more so the autonomy part.
I have known a few in my time that have come through that are, what I will say, on the border of autonomy. There are other warforged within Beacon's End that own shops and operate as though they have the freedom to make the decision to do that. They do not report to anyone. But it is difficult to say what separates free will from purpose.
Now, when you say parts of him have died, like, you mean like a motor went bad and had to get replaced?
No. Motors can be replaced. Rust is living, breathing. It reacts to things in mysterious ways. At its core, echo is what drives Rust. And once gone, it cannot be replaced. What is built on top of his frame has echo. But I can see through the reflections in his eyes down to the core. Whatever echo there was in there is nearly gone. Not that it will stop you from operating, but whatever you are operating on top of is dead. As you say, you are Mark II.
Do you think there could come a time where I, because of my foundation being dead, may find myself shutting down or going inoperative?
Echo itself has an incredibly long span of operation. It is not a fuel that is consumed. I do not think that it is draining you to be on top of another frame, but Rust reacts in mysterious ways. I do not worry about you shutting down, but I do worry about what you may become, even if you do not realize it. I don't know how much you all know about Rust.
I know very little. I understand that augmentations can take place. I understand that it's some sort of unheard of mechanical stuff that falls out of the sky.
Yes.
And I understand it can be used to do anything from making small automaton to like large generators. That's pretty much about it. I do understand that well, from what we've been hearing, too many augmentations to a person never had Rust before. Too much can maybe even drive a man mad. I just don't understand how or why.
Not the things I build. Not that they won't drive you mad, but I have worked on a way to stop this from happening if you can realize it before it does.
How so?
He walks over to a desk and picks up a very small, like, wrist device, almost like a bracer. He walks it over to you.
Every piece of rust has echo inside. It is what makes it operate. Echo, as it reacts to things, seems to... Heat is not the right word, but expand in ways that build pressure.
And he flips a small, valve on the inside under a panel, and you watch as the purple and pink and blue, pastel smoke leaves the device, and the areas of the rust that were lit up go dark.
This is now inoperable scrap. The echo cannot be recharged, but it will stop the user from going mad. Your rust would become inoperable, but it is my version of a safety switch.
Emergency shut-off.
Yes.
Interesting. That is so interesting.
You said you're familiar with my type of rust.
All too well, yes.
How do
It
you
is
know
not dissimilar to where I am from, the Reverie. Not from there, but the Reverie, aside from my recognizing the style in which the rust is, the people that have it largely hold themselves differently. They do not see it as a tool,
and he kind of flexes his own arm.
You see it as a piece of yourself because it is what is driven into your heart your entire upbringing. The technology does not leave the Reverie, it is not sold, it is only given to those from the Reverie. But when I look at you, I can see that clearly you have not completed your transformation, which leads me to believe that you escaped, because the Reverie does not let people out unless they are finished, and you are not.
They let people out.
Certain people, yes, those that operate with the Iron Veil Enclave.
Did I know that the Iron Veil Enclave worked with the Revel, or with the
Loosely, I mean, you've seen them around the Reverie, and that's kind of been alluded to. They have at the very least a symbiotic relationship with the people from the Reverie, and the Baron also kind of said that the Iron Veil Enclave is people from the Reverie, and they often rotate their positions, but because something is going on at the Reverie, they have stopped doing that because the same members of the Enclave have stayed within Beacon's End for longer than she would have anticipated them being there. So that has already kind of loosely been said.
Gotcha.
Sarah, are you saying this in character just for clarity?
She said no.
Did she?
No.
Oh, all right. I'll let her respond. In character, kind of. Okay.
Yes, the rust from the Reverie that is purpose-built by their weavers is very protected. They worship rust. It is very uncommon to see it on people outside of the Reverie unless it was stolen or picked clean from a member of the Iron Veil Enclave, though that is even rarer. And no offense, the group of you do not look coordinated enough to have taken down an Iron Veil Enclave member and be wandering around the city of Beacon's End, so...
No, I managed to escape with my parents. It was very secretive. I'm actively in the midst of trying to maintain my notoriety and stay off their radar.
They are driven to learn what Rust is saying to them. It is why they drive the worship of Rust into their people. I am from a place that is not dissimilar to that, but on the opposite hand, Soulspire Reach pushes boundaries just as the Reverie does to innovate and to ascend. So the motto goes in the city.
The Reverie's tech, is it something that can be tracked?
Not entirely, unless you know what to look for. It is not as though you can flip on a beacon and find people with it in a city. Visually, I can pick up things, but it is...
It's not something that the Reverie can track, though.
No.
Have you seen many others from the Reverie that weren't part of the Ironclad Enclave?
Very few. There are those that clearly hide in plain sight. There are those that wear it but do not carry themselves the way that you do. But very few have passed through Beacon's End in my century here.
He looks older, for clarity. This is like, he's clearly like 200, which is old for a dwarf, but not like ancient. They live to like 350, so he's like 60.
Okay.
Visually.
The, would have been yesterday. The Baron would have sent, possibly some samples, I guess you could say. Some tech your way. Possibly a pair of legs. Some kind of oil ejection system.
The Baron sends me many things. I alone assemble what I feel a person desires, but I must warn you before you make this leap. Not to stop you from doing it, but I need you to fully understand the path that you are walking down should you make it.
Well, I understand. I was just making sure that you got the, see, we were attacked by a handful of ruffians that had some pretty decent tech on them.
Yes.
Baron didn't know what to do with them. I had made a mention of sending everything that could be scrapped to you.
Much appreciated.
I'm sure you could probably find good use for somebody. Give them a new pair of legs.
Yes.
I don't really know what the oil injection system would be good for, but...
He just kind of nods in the direction of the trail burner behind him.
Already been put to good use.
Good to know. Waste not, want not, you know?
Yes. But Soulspire Reach, much like the Reverie, they push boundaries with all aspects of Rust, modifications with structure building, anything that they can replace the old ways with, they do.
Do they act the same way the Reverie does in the sense of testing on children?
They don't worship it in that same way. People are willing, but you do not spend time in Soulspire Reach for any length of time if you are not planning on having something like that done. There are people that spend every dollar they have making the ascension to Soulspire Reach through the mountains, or if they can afford a ticket to fly there, just to be a part of what that city is. people that are brilliant and talented weavers that wish to push these boundaries. People that believe in Rust, but not worship, no.
So out of character, Soulspire Reach is essentially Turkey. People are going and getting like
Kind of.
modifications done.
Yeah, in a way.
Okay.
But there's, I mean,
Medical procedure.
a lot of people go there if they're like, I want to be a part of this. Like, I want to
So, like,
stake my
Oz.
claim in the city. Yeah, it's very Oz adjacent of
Okay.
like, I want to go here. I will be a part of this. I will make my mark on Rust and what it does. And as a reminder, that is where Genevieve's youngest brother is, being a talented weaver. When he fled, he went there, and they protect their own. Of bounty hunters went in for him, and they fucking killed them, and he got like 5 feet out the door.
Also, Jen's acquaintance would have been south of there, correct?
He was in Soulspire Reach, but clearly has made his way like up and down those mountains. Yes.
Yeah.
Jen would ask, how safe is it
Yep.
there? Yeah.
Soulspire Reach itself is safe in the sense that they will protect you should someone come for you. But the city itself is volatile.
Yes.
But the people,
People say.
Are resilient.
they are resilient. I do not trust Soulspire Reach nor its leader,
Who's its leader?
a man who goes by the name Erasmus.
Razmataz.
Come on, Raz.
Come on, Raz.
ERA
B-R-A?
ERASMUS.
First try.
There you go. Talifrey Fleetdew?
Erasmus?
Spelled the normal
Spelled
way.
the normal way? Huh?
Erasmus?
Erasmus, yeah.
If you
We're
don't mind,
celebrating Erasmus this year.
Yeah.
if you don't mind me
Erasmus.
asking, well, why did you leave Soulspire?
This is not the story that I tell or have told to anyone but the Baron, but you group come with a recommendation of the only people I think she has trusted since Vex.
Into Damon's head, I say, he thinks we're cool.
He doesn't. And he said it.
If you would not mind closing the door, please.
Hopefully that relationship doesn't end the same way.
You got it.
Thank you.
Mask
No.
goes on. Yup.
Mark II walks over, shuts the door, and he flips a switch under the desk, and you can see
Flip.
flip. A large metal rod like flips down and kind of bars the door from being opened. He flips a like dial up on top and sets it on top of the counter.
Should you be uncomfortable and need to leave, please understand that I am not trapping you here, but this is for my own safety and security.
Information is valuable anywhere you go, my friend. I understand entirely. Our discretion is implicit.
Yes. I understand. As I said, you come with the highest recommendation of trust from Adelina.
And it's reciprocal. We don't typically walk around telling people about the peculiarities of my traveling companion over there.
Usually I pretend to be non-sentient.
Beep boop.
Beep boop.
And I also
etc.
don't particularly feed into people knowing that I'm from the Reverie.
Nor should you. What, if anything, do you know about Soulspire Reach and what it used to be?
I know what you've told us. And we know that our friend's brother is there.
I know that there's smuggling trails that run up the mountain to it.
There are now and there were before, too, before it grew into this technological powerhouse that it is. It used to be a rather simple place. My family is from there. Soulspire Reach before RUSTFall was kind of like a weather beacon. A town that sat atop the mountain with the sole purpose of survival and trying to witness weather patterns coming over the mountains or coming on the coast, sending signals down to the towns below to pass to others so that way cities could be barricaded, crops could be protected from incoming weather. It was not a place that people gathered. If you lived there, you worked. We didn't have merchants outside of those needed for basic survival. The city...
You work, you eat. It's that simple.
Yes. Its motto was, to innovate is to survive. Because that is what was needed of the city. When you live in a basin atop a tall mountain peak, you are subject to high winds, strong weather patterns, things that come from above. Still called Soulspire Reach because it was just that, reaching towards the souls. My family was one of several that worked on some of the lifts and weather equipment around the city, a town then, but we worked with our hands. I have always been a builder. The city was and served the purpose for smugglers, for smaller valuable objects. No shipping prior to the technology that we have now to fly over the mountains would pass through here. They would go by ship around. Nothing passed through the mountains. It was far too difficult to be worth it.
Nothing would have passed through unless it was something worth hiding.
Right. A path that no others take lends itself well to smugglers. It is less to hide. You are hiding in nothing. Not that that was a...
It is nowhere.
It is nowhere, yes. Not that that was a core tenet of the town, but it was just something that was done up the mountains, and the town of Soulspire Reach was inherently the center point of those journeys up and down, where people made exchanges and refueled with very basic provisions. We did not have entertainment nor markets, just survival basics.
East and west of nowhere makes a whole lot more sense now.
Yes, hence the Nowhere Mountain Range. There was nothing but us, the academy on the base on the other side, down the mountain, and Cindergrasp, the forge by the more volcanic part towards the north. We were nothing. But we were forced to innovate constantly, to make stone stronger, to stop from high winds, cables along the edges of the mountain range if someone should fall, ways to sense incoming winds with various pieces of metals running along chains, trying to track weather patterns, extend our view further. That is what Soulspire Reach was. Until RUSTFall changed everything. When RUSTFall first fell, people migrated to areas where it fell because it could be used for valuable scrap. People would take it apart for metals, cabling to tie back doors, simple things. They did not understand what it was. It was simply goods to be exchanged. Even with the understanding of the simple steam engine prior to RUSTFall, this was beyond the scope of anyone's understanding here.
It was merely just a material like wood.
It was just a material like wood, yes, and stone. But not in Soulspire Reach. We had innovated and worked on things for the entire life of the people that live there. We were some of the first weavers, people to take larger pieces of it and put them to purpose, to adapt. And that spread like wildfire to the rest of the world. Everything was in Soulspire Reach adapted on top of the old, but the old was still left in place. The rust was put in place as a failsafe. Should something go wrong, the old ways would still work. We did not rely on this new technology that we did not understand. But the rest of the world did not adapt by this same credence. They pushed to replace things. Steam engines still exist, but rust lines have their own rails. Should they fail, the only backup is steam. Elevators were made instead of lifts using chain and rope. If they failed, the existing structure for those was no longer in place. But because they were so much more efficient, the lives that were lost in the process were deemed irrelevant.
Too much too soon.
It didn't matter if people died because there was coin to be made. And then that same credence spread to Soulspire Reach in the form of a man named Erasmus. From a wealthy family, he urged the citizens to push the boundaries, to continue to innovate. And the people started to listen to him. We started to experiment with,
And he holds up his rust arm.
replacing pieces of oneself. And I will admit, even my family fell into that pattern. Trying to see what we could do to make ourselves more efficient and to innovate.
To survive.
To survive. Because if we were more capable, then we could better survive on top of that mountain. And
ain't nothing selfish about that.
no. But I started to understand things more about Rust. Things that in my mind I let myself believe was just my own innovation, my skills, building on skills to be able to understand this new technology. And then I started having visions in my sleep.
Did I have visions when I started getting rust?
Mm-mm.
No. Okay.
Areas around Soulspire Reach, deeper into the mountain range. I would see shadows on street corners as I walked, and as I turned, nothing would be there. I blocked it from my mind and continued my work. And this went on for years. The visions growing stronger until I could no longer sleep. So I walked into the mountains and followed where these visions were leading me. A day's journey from Soulspire Reach into an area nowhere. And I found a cavern deep within the mountain. And I...
North, south, east, west. A day's journey from Soulspire Reach.
North.
Which way? North? Okay.
And I felt compelled to enter it as though something were calling to me. And I heard a voice in my head as I got to the mouth of the cave. To innovate is to ascend. To ascend is to survive. A bastardization of the credence that Soulspire Reach stood for. I fled back to the city and tried to get the visions out of my head. But they kept coming. And I decided to bury what I had found, at least until I could understand it better, should someone else wander into nowhere. I gathered materials and made the day's journey back. And I began lining the edge of the cave with explosives to seal it. And a figure appeared behind me. Erasmus and I fought atop that mountain peak. I fell from it. And as I tumbled to what should have been my death, I caught myself on the storm cabling that my family had installed, but only was able to hold on because my rust arm had locked in place. I owe my life both to the old world and the new.
What did he catch his fall on?
The weather cabling along the edges of the mountainside.
I had either one of those things not been present, I would be a bug at the bottom of the mountain. But to the city, I was dead. An accident, as accidents often happen in a place, atop a mountain. A tragic end to a brilliant weaver and respected family member.
They never look for you?
No one should have survived that fall. And there are wolves. There would have been very little of me left even by the time they found their way down the mountain to look for me. I used that to my advantage. I went back to the city and I hid. In the very infrastructure that I had helped to build, I used it to keep me out of sight. And I decided that I could not let the city fall into the hands of Erasmus, this man that would abandon the old ways and push forward. So during one of his speeches, I hid in the infrastructure with a rifle. And I waited. And I fired. Struck him right in the chest. Blood burst from his torso and he fell to the ground like a sack of rocks. The crowd went silent, children screamed. And before I could release the breath I had inhaled to focus myself in relief, he stood and brushed himself off and played to the crowd as though that was a planned event. And then he uttered the same phrase I had heard. To innovate is to ascend. To ascend is to survive. In trying to save the city from him, I had handed him its keys. So I fled. Until I could better understand Rust, that someday I might stop what he is doing. He is not immortal, no, dear. He is just beyond what a man is. Someday he will die, but it is much harder for the Reaper to drag him into the ground. So I have dedicated my life here in Beacon's End to trying to make Rust safer for people, and hope that one day I find an answer to what was in that mountain. Whatever drives him. Beacon's End is a place for reinventing oneself, after all.
Certainly is.
Our stories aren't too different. It sounds like your Erasmus is my Eris. A tyrannical leader using the naivety of its people to better power himself. And I don't know what the importance of the rust is or what happened in that cave, but it's all the same. I would like to get to the bottom of it too.
It seems as though our priorities very much align then.
What did this Erasmus look like?
Green.
Covered in
Bandages.
rags. Yeah.
One moment. I need to get a phone charger. My phone's like at 3%, and I won't be able to chat. One moment. Oh, no. Pause for a thought.
Welcome to the Mark II Mid-Show Podcast.
Sponsored by
Beep boop.
Oil.
I was gonna say, like, I can't think of a single oil brand now.
Exxon.
Don't give them the free advertising.
Canola.
Canola.
Brought to you by Enron.
Brought to you by KY. The other oil.
Yeah. Johnson.
No! The wrong oil.
Mark II runs on baby oil.
No! Straight to jail.
Made from fresh babies.
You can bring them out. Sarah. No, bad.
So your last question was, what does Erasmus look like?
Yeah.
He is a tall elven man who wears a cloak fashioned to hide what little of him is even left anymore.
Highly modified.
Yes.
Do you think he succumbed to the rust madness?
I think whatever I encountered in that mountain, I do not believe it to be a god, but I worry that it controls him or promises him things that have driven him that way. His use of that exact bastardization of Soulspire Reach's motto is, I do not believe it to be coincidence. And he showed up when it somehow sensed that it was in danger. It was not a stranger that pushed me down the mountain.
It was Erasmus. Was he always like this?
He was reasonably rust modified when he arrived with his money and his ideas, but it progressed significantly. And from what I have heard, even more so in the century I have been gone.
Do you know where he came to Soulspire from?
No, back then, these wealthy families came from Clarelux, from the other side of nowhere, from Windfall. Old money families.
So he came with the rusted.
Yes. Rust arrived before he did, but as the rest of the world pushed for its significant integration, as they began to understand what it would be used for more than just a simple tool, he came with his money to the place best suited to do so.
I understand.
The people best suited to do so.
Any of these rich families move in from Windfall?
Some did, but that is 125 years ago.
Do you know if your family's still there?
I've heard word that they are, yes. My parents have since passed, but my brother still resides.
Who's your brother? If you don't mind sharing, don't feel obligated to.
Bingo.
I was gonna say bingo or banjo. Bongo and banjo. Benji.
Drum.
Ukulele Gesundheit. 6-string Gesundheit.
No, let me think. It's not a name like that.
Yeah. A lot of things are making sense now. Okay. You think that's his birth name?
Yeah, whose fucking name is Banjo Bless You? Like, let's be real.
Sarah said Arnold.
No, it's not Arnold.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Bongo could be a code name. His name was also Bongo.
Bango.
Binga banga bongo, I don't want to leave the Congo.
My brother's name is Wulfric.
Spelled the phonetic way? Or?
WULF. Or I see.
Okay. Gesundheit?
No.
You think that's his birth name?
I'm not sure. I mean, Andy's my birth name.
He's hiding.
Have you ever met another person with the last name Gesundheit?
I've not met many people. I'm from the Reverie.
Fair. It is a ridiculous name, designed as such. But it still serves a purpose to remind me of the person I left behind.
And he starts, like, tapping on his chest.
At you.
Bless you.
I have bad allergies.
My last name is Allegra.
I am allergic to snow. Achoo.
At Bongo, the incessant beating of a drum, the driving force that beats within my heart. Gesundheit is a blessing, and I have been living on borrowed time for well over a century. It is a blessing that I am still alive. A ridiculous name that no one would take seriously nor look twice at, but it serves its purpose to me.
Damien, do you think I should get a different last name?
What's wrong with Sky?
I mean, he makes a great point. If I don't want people trying to hunt me down.
It's fair.
German is canon, yes.
It's C-A-N-N-O-N. It's a canon.
Yeah.
Get it.
I mean, I've been using fake names for God only knows how long.
Yeah, but like, if somebody catches me off guard and I say Andromeda, I can't imagine there's many Andromedas out here.
That's true.
I don't know. Do you know any Skies? Should I not have told him my name? Can you promise not to tell anyone that you know?
He shared with us the name of his brother.
Sure, but he didn't tell
his
us.
biological brother.
Right, but he didn't tell us his last name. Is Wolfric?
He also told us why he left Soulspire Reach.
That is
And
right.
that he's in hiding.
That's
Right
entirely
before
fair.
he told us that, he told us he doesn't tell anybody that, but the Baron.
Forgive me if I'm a little, not flighty. I'm not trying to
Her
leave.
interpersonal skills lack some finesse.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get used to the whole being out.
Somehow I'm a robot raised in fighting pits and have better social skills.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
Whoa! Hang on a moment.
Beep boop.
Listen.
I mean, beep boop error.
Excuse me for considering.
H&R bot over here.
Listen.
That's my calculator.
I do taxes. Quick Crooks has started running.
Quick Crooks is reloaded. Anyway, forgive me if I'm trying to think of things outside the box now that the circumstances brought itself forward. I've never considered the fact that if somebody asks my name.
It's absolutely fair. Andy could be short for a lot of things.
Sure.
Andy is a normal enough name to not bring attention. The last name you may want to rethink.
Maybe Gesundheit. I'm kidding. I wouldn't do that to you.
Jugs.
I have enough
Jugs.
worries. Jugs. Jugs is a good one. I could do Andy Jugs.
What about Cheers? Andy Cheers.
Who?
Like, you know, Cheers. Like, Cheers. You know, Andy Cheers.
You think that'll make me sound like an alcoholic?
Well,
we'll work on it.
All right.
Like my aliases, I guess, are derived from folk tales. Ones that resonate with me. Maybe
I would
start
be
there.
willing. Most of the folk tales I know of are, I think, pretty particular to the Reverie, so maybe we'll stop at a library. I'll pick up some books and get some inspiration.
You do like reading.
I do like reading. Only nonfiction, though.
What about reads?
Oh my, Andy reads. Like the football coach of the Eagles go Bird.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No,
Not
he's
anymore.
the
No.
fucking
Kansas
coach
City.
of the Kings.
Kansas City,
Yeah,
I know.
what?
Suck at Kansas City.
And Taylor Swift.
No, this is a Swiftie household.
Jen said mine was based on a mimicking bird. Mine was also based on a bird, weird enough.
Can I go based on a bird? Can y'all
You
pick
could
a
also
bird?
be a bird. Yeah, he has a bird.
What's your bird's name?
Carl. Or
I'm gonna be
something
Andy
like
Carl.
that, right? Andy Carl. It had like a person named like Duncan or some shit. Philip.
Greg.
What about Jackson? Andy Jackson.
I'm gonna go Andy.
Your secrets are safe with me, and whatever
Sarah said, wait, whoa, hold
name
on.
you choose to go
About
by
the
is your decision.
All right. Andy Mandy. Do you mind sharing with us what you remember your brother looking like? Perhaps if we end up in Soul Spy for whatever reason, we can try and pass the message along.
Oh, we're supposed to tell you Torque sent us.
Hmm?
Supposed to tell you Torque sent us as well?
Another trusted friend, yes.
And my mortal enemy, why
Sorry, I
would you
just
say
happened
that?
to come upon that in my memory banks.
Yes. I do not wish for my brother to learn of my survival,
Understandable.
but I appreciate the thought.
So, you work on Rust in here. Do you mind taking a look at my hand? I haven't had my hand looked at in probably since I left the Reverie.
Torque looked at it. Disconnected it.
You took my hand, you're right.
In
Popped it right off.
in knowledge.
Work, Santa. All right, hold on. I gotta write that down. 1 second.
Yes.
Because we had Gunter Claus in the last one, so we gotta have Twerk Santa in this one somewhere. Could have put that down.
Throw
Write that down.
And a merry thanks clapping to all.
Clapping to the sound of jingle bells.
I don't think I have your bird's name in here. I would be surprised if I did, but
I didn't write it down. I have a bird on my shoulder written down.
Roger.
I think Savannah.
I do have it written
Roger?
down. Roger.
I told you it was a person name.
I do actually have
What
it
was
written
the
Thank you, God.
Savannah's rat's name?
Steve.
Wilson.
That's it.
Torque is another talented individual with Rust, but yes, I can look at your hand. What precisely would you request I do, dear?
If you just could make sure that it's functioning properly. I used to have it tuned up often when I was at the Reverie, but it's been a while.
Did it crack
No.
on the finger?
I've been fucking with it, so maybe.
I
What, I need to weave that.
will ask before I make modifications. The escape valve that I demonstrated, would you like me to install that in yours?
Is there a way for other people to have access to the valve, making it unusable?
It is internal.
Okay.
It is a choice that you yourself would need to make in a moment of clarity before the madness. It is not a
Quench button.
perfect system, but it is all that I have so far figured out how to start to prevent this.
I don't think it could hurt, if you wouldn't mind.
Of course.
He places it onto a workbench in front of him and like brings down a large overhead like magnifying glass piece and grabs several tools like a large like soldering iron and some other things and starts very delicately peeling the hand apart as his eye kind of twirls and focuses in.
As I work on this, you may look around. I have but one rule. Please do not touch anything unless you understand what it does. Rust is volatile and reacts in ways you may not expect.
Would you mind if I oversee what you're doing? I was a bit of a tinkerer back in the Reverie.
Of course.
You watch as he like peels the internal shell back on your palm slightly and begins tinkering with the insides on a very like descending like kind of like a painter's magnifying glass with like the different levels, and his rust hand holds something precision like in place, but his regular hand is the one that does the physical modifications. They work in tandem. As he begins making small tweaks, he reaches into the base of the hand and pokes a very small hole and slips a fitting into it. And on the inside begins to twist something together. He's working rather quickly, but you can see that he is just kind of shoring up connections and pieces and adding this valve that he connects to the edge of this chamber that holds this swirling echo. And he very carefully traces against the chamber with a very hot small iron pick and inserts the tube into it.
I would be asking like 1,000,001 questions as he's doing it, just taking his break.
Go ahead.
No, just like, why are you using that? What
Sure.
does this do? Like,
Absolutely.
like,
Yes.
it's
Stuff
Just
that
to
we don't need
basically
to-
understand how.
Yeah.
I'm like I think I'm like one level in Artificer. Yeah. So I would just be asking like, why are you doing that? What does this do? That like, if I come across anybody else who has things, I could like maybe help them with their rust.
Sure. Yeah.
Very
Things
basic
things that are inconsequential but important.
Right.
Yeah.
In a
absolutely.
like spur moment.
Yeah, essentially the scientific explanation of what you're telling us now is what's happening.
Absolutely. Yeah, and he clicks this back into place and reaches over and hands your hand back.
Click clack.
And you can feel that, like, it feels smoother.
Okay.
Not that, again, you had become so accustomed. It's like when you get a new pair of glasses. The old ones kind of look blurry. It's not that you couldn't see before. It's not that you couldn't use your hand before. You were used to the motion of your hand as you had become accustomed to it, but it just feels smoother now, as if it had been
like wearing a heavy
tweaked and
jacket
tuned.
all day,
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
you take it
then
off.
you take
You're
it
like,
off.
oh, I'm lighter.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That exact feeling, yes.
This is great. Thank you.
Of course.
You ever think about coming up with an implement to interrupt the rust?
Like an interference?
He just kind of chuckles to himself.
Like a rust arrest?
This I have already done. Part of why Adelina gives me resources. I work with her. I predate her in this city by 60 years. When I came here, I simply wanted to remain out of sight and use my skills as a weaver to help people and continue my work to build my workshop here. And I spent the better part of that time doing just that, small jobs, working my way up as someone that was trusted and reputable within the city, and testing things in my own way. One of these was trying to interrupt, at least temporarily, rust. Because even if I found a way to kill Erasmus. I am not certain how to kill something that is not alive. Whatever is buried beneath Soulspire Reach must be from the same place that rust comes from. But I do not even know what it is. Adelina took notice of certain syndicate disruptions, rust arrays being temporarily disabled as I moved throughout the city, finding ways to keep myself hidden in plain sight, but she noticed, as this is her city. Shortly after she took her position as the Baron is when she approached me, pointed out the things that she knew and had witnessed me doing, and drew the connection to Soulspire Reach, not who I was, but that I clearly had at least trained there. She did not threaten, she offered protection from prying eyes, resources to continue my work, and all that she asked in exchange is that I help her when she needed it. Part of which was these disruptions in Rust Tech.
You see, Adelina and I both have a common enemy. And someone who was very well equipped.
Vinny.
Yeah.
You know of him.
How could I not? I would not consider the Baron and I close friends, but we respect each other. We have worked together for nearly 30 years on and off. She sends people to me that she trusts. I work on
She
them.
warmed up to us in like 2 days. You had 30 years.
Yeah. She
Because we're cool.
trusts me, and I her. As I said, I have told very few people of my tale. There are very few ears that have listened to it. When I said only the Baron, I exaggerate a little, but it is to express the importance that very few people have heard this. There are not people looking for me like you, but I still wish to remain out of sight in plain sight.
Understood.
I have been safe here for over a century.
That sort of tech, you think, how close are you?
It can be used now. It is a small disruption when you have it in a portable state, and you need to be rather close. For large-scale disruptions, you need much larger power sources, and those are certainly not subtle in any way. If you are trying to disable rust in a proximity, you would need to be, at least the object would need to be nearly right on top of the person, but...
Do you have one of these?
I do.
Might I see?
He walks over and twists several knobs underneath one of the wall panels, and it
Oh my.
slides open. And you can see that sitting in almost like a dry ice style container, like a kind of a sealed,
Like a cryogenic.
yeah, like kind of like a cryogenic chamber is.
It's the biochip.
Is very small. like icy blue iridescent liquid floating almost like a lava lamp, where there is like a clear viscous liquid on top of it and this clear this like vibrant glowing blue liquid below it, like barely mixing together, and small bubbles of it float into this clear liquid on top of a sealed, like clearly steel welded tube with wires wrapping around it, sealed. And he walks over and sets it down. It's about the size of this candle, roughly, where it's subtle, but like it's not that fucking subtle. Like it's not like you can slip this in a pocket and have this not be seen. You can put it in a bag, maybe.
It's archaic technology because it does like a crazy thing for a short amount of time, and it's actually pretty big and unwieldy.
Right.
Yeah.
This is... I could demonstrate, but your friend would be rather uncomfortable for a short period of time.
So this thing shuts off implements?
It shuts off implements that I do not build, yes. Things that I build are more resilient. The disruption is... Shielded, not entirely. That is near impossible to do, but it is lessened. The effects are, you may feel sluggish reactions rather than complete disabling.
In layman's terms, have you ever discovered something that is able to pull the rust essence out of something?
Echo.
Turn the echo out of it?
Pulling the echo out would cause it to be completely inoperable, but that is why I install these valves on the things that I build as emergencies. They are incredibly well shielded as to not drain in others. There is not a way, at least that I am aware of, to take the essence of what makes rust possible out without venting it.
So the liquid in the tube does not look anything like...
It's not amber.
No,
Okay.
it's not amber, and it's not like a... The echo
storm
is like
in
a
bottle.
gaseous, like pseudo liquid. It's not even a liquid. It's like a... It's halfway
plasma.
between... It's plasma-ish, yeah. It's more plasma than liquid.
Okay.
And it's like... it's halfway between a gas and a liquid.
I'm trying to figure out if there's any correlation between the thing that he built and the battery thing that we found.
No, because that was stealing power. It did not impact your hand or him.
Sure.
Which is not... Your two things do not generate power. You just have echo inside of them.
That's
the
what I
lights
was trying to
themselves are generating power, and that what was being sucked
That's
in.
a
So
power drain. That's
this
an
is
echo
different.
drain.
So, but it was only pulling the power from the rust lights. So that's what I was trying to like
Correct.
figure out a way to ask of like it only pulled rust powered things. It wasn't pulling like...
Sure. You asked echo specifically, which is
Yeah.
why he's expressing that aspect of it.
Okay.
Is he's saying, as far as I'm aware, there's not a way to get rid of it.
Sure.
This is disruptive to it for a time. It almost freezes it in place.
So you say something like this on a larger scale would require more power.
A lot more power and would need to be significantly larger in size. If you were trying to knock out a small city block, it would need to be nearly twice the size of a trail burner. Something this size, if I hold this here, I would probably catch the radius of the small area of the front of the workshop. I would pick up you standing closer to the door, but that is about as close as...
Roughly 10 by 10, I guess?
Yeah,
Okay.
that is about as close as you would need to be.
Probably like a 20 by 20, but
Yeah.
it's a small
Yeah.
area comparatively.
Well, what about something if you had a battery?
To
Say-
power it.
It's
Let's say
still,
something maybe about size of a book.
it still would not change the chemical compound needed the liquid would need to be significantly larger. The object itself would physically need to be bigger in order to output that same level of charge, even separate from the power.
Would you be able to write down how you built that for me?
No, that is proprietary to my own technology.
Understood.
I can offer it to you, I can build it, but it would be, one, incredibly difficult for me to explain to, no offense, a novice weaver. And it is not something that... This is something that I have been working for a very long time to try to perfect. I do not want it getting out.
Would you've been friends with the Baron for some time.
Yes.
Would you be willing to look at an artifact we've found?
Of course.
You would have to come to the Grinning House to look at it, though.
I could do this if that is what you wish.
Transport of the object is
A little obvious.
not available.
How many of those can you make?
It takes me several days to craft one. The technology is complicated and limited, but I could give you maybe a half, maybe 4 to take with you, 1 for each of you. In emergencies cases, but especially if it will assist the Baron in trying to stop Vinny and your own journey in doing so, but any more would be difficult.
What if I gave you 100 gold?
Money is not the purpose nor the object. I would not charge you for these, nor would I charge Adelina for such. It is just the
Difficulty of it.
the difficulty and rarity of the materials in order to make it. It is not something that I can just mass produce for you for any amount of money.
I understand. I appreciate the offer.
These parts that are needed, I'm assuming that they need to be scavenged.
Yes.
If you can give us a list, we can help you as best we can.
I
but
was actually gonna say, if you write up a list, you might have somebody who can help you send out to. She might be able to put it on a couple people's radar.
I would appreciate it.
Yeah, get that list together. Give it to the Baron, and tell her to have it sent to the Bramble Snoots. To the care of Barry. Barry may not be able to help right away, but she might be able to direct the rest of her kin to help you try and find that.
There are some of her kin that, or at least scrabblers, I suppose, that set up shop in the market from time to time. Scrabblers move. But if anyone can find someone, the Baron certainly can, especially if she is a friend.
I'm sure the Baron has ways of finding her. We, pretty solid on that. But she should be able to help you out, at least find what you need. To at least even just continue your research on something like this. Because, it very much is... I'm looking into something like that to help me settle my score. Something like that would be awfully helpful to the city of yours. And, I'd be obliged to help should you need it.
I appreciate it.
You are beset on a righteous path.
As your friend Mark II said when he came in the door, I see it as...
As he's once said, hello.
I see it as my purpose, but one that, while I feel compelled to do, it is one that I chose. Not righteous, just purpose.
At the end of the day, what's the difference?
Depends on your outlook, I suppose.
I guess so. Not much to be said about the difference between righteous and just, or revenge, vengeance, justice. At the end of the day, I guess it's all the same.
Yes. The Baron indicated to me that you might be interested in rust of some variety.
That I am. I was hoping to get something that would assist me should the time come, to keep me going even when I can't.
I have constructed things like this for others.
I'm sure the Baron's given you some of the details I gave her, but...
Yes. As I said before, I will not caution you against this. But I need to ensure that you understand the road that you are going down. I have rust myself. I do not have an inherent distrust for it, but you must understand and be wary of its power. No one, myself included, truly understands what it is or where it is from, aside from the remnants that fall from the sky. I offer you no guarantee of safety. I offer you the best chance. If it is something that you wish to do, I always bake in and out. But that is not a guarantee of safety. And it must be your choice, something that you feel to your core that you need.
I feel like the path that I am beset on, a lot of lives depend on it. And if this can be used as not only a tool, but a part of me, as you said, an innovation of survival for not me, not only me, but for those who I'm fighting for, then I believe it to be a just cause. I believe it to be a sacrifice worth making.
Then I will do as you wish.
Given that there are no given that there are nothing against that, which I'm asking from those present.
I wouldn't very much be one to oppose now, would I? Given you live your best life. If that's what you feel is best for you, I mean, do it. I don't know. I'm not mad, I don't think.
Maybe a little bit more too, but not in the way that they telling us.
Yeah, not. I'm rational, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not mad.
No. Why would you be?
Right.
It is interesting in the way that you work through your thoughts and feelings, particularly about your friends. I can see that there is sympathy to your words and that you clearly try to process and rationalize the thoughts that you feel, even if you do not fully understand why you have them. It is curious to see you work through that, is all.
I guess I haven't learned how to think in yet. I can only think out.
A lot of people outward think. It also just... How long have you felt this outward processing of your thoughts?
Well, since I first, developed autonomy, really.
When was this?
It was a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
We met 3 years ago? Right?
I thought it was 6 months, or was
It
that?
was 6 months for the group of you in total, and then I think 6 months prior to that, so...
Yeah.
So a year.
a year.
Yeah, okay, yeah, a year.
Yeah. Was there any sort of change for you in that moment of realization that you are more than just a thing?
I don't think it all happened at once. It kind of built on me over time. Small pieces here and there started to form and collect into, thoughts, and soon, I was talking to myself about things other than fighting. And as those little bits started to form together, I slowly developed my autonomy along the way. I guess those little bits I was putting together developed who I am. And it wasn't until I was complete that I could, take control and direction over my life.
Realizing that you had an internal monologue outside of what you were being directed to do. Truly finding your own purpose.
Exactly that. Finding my own purpose. Right.
Do you feel any particular way about what this has caused you to discover? Do you feel that you know yourself? Or do you discover that along the way too?
I think that is something you discover along the way. I'm maybe it's not something that you learn, but being presented with a choice and making a decision, and the outcome of that decision kind of informing your next and your next, until soon, the weight and aggregate of all those decisions come to form who you are, whereas decisions made without regard tend to return as regret.
I agree with that. Is what it means to truly be alive, is the process of finding what series of choices lead you down the path you are on. Purpose becoming purpose.
Right.
What interests me about you particularly, aside from the being built on top of another shell, is that
That's why you're not wearing any pants.
most rust is noisy. There is a hum to things with larger components. There is inherent steam and heat that reverberates from these larger structures like yourself. But yours seems more refined, not as though it was necessarily constructed in that way, but though,
Like it's been filtered.
yes, like something else is doing the balancing for you of your system. Like it is self-correcting and not through external stimuli.
He's been self-oscillating himself a lot recently.
Is that what we're calling
You
it?
said, you asked if I had any feelings, or if I had felt any type of way following the development of autonomy.
Yes.
And I found the interesting feeling developed after I developed autonomy. You see, most I think would consider the ability to set your own purpose, your own direction, and to have control over your own life. They would see that as like a benefit, like a blessing. And while it certainly is one in that I have control over what I do, the other side of that sword is I have the ability to want something other than what is for myself. Before I had the ability to dictate my life and control my life and what I wanted, I didn't know it at the time because I had not felt it, but I had the absence of suffering. It wasn't until I had the ability to want something other than what is that I started to feel the struggle that it is to be, well, human, though I'm not.
You started to feel what it means to be alive and not just a thing moving in a direction. I would say that very thought makes you quite alive indeed.
To want is to be human.
Yes.
And you can't want if you're not autonomous. So in my eyes, I'm just as human as, mentally, I'm just as human as anybody else. Or not human, but cognizant, aware, sentient as anybody else.
But you have the awareness of more people than I've known.
I have, yeah, well,
What
I
I'm
have
getting
both
at.
the perspectives of being and not being sentient.
Yeah, but to want is human, but to know thyself is to know God. That's why you have something special.
I never considered you much of a religious one.
We spoke on faith.
I guess.
Would that make, don't get me wrong, I understand Rust is powered by Echo, but would that make Echo kind of a god?
I mean, that's what the Reverie believes.
Some people believe that to be true.
The Reverie believes that Rust itself is the god to worship.
I believe it's more of the self-awareness. I believe it is a knowing.
Bongo, have you seen other warforged powered by rust in the past?
Well, all warforged inherently are powered by rust, but you are unique that you are built on top of something else that is no longer functional and yet functioning yourself.
He's saying you're dead inside.
You truly are human.
I get the distinct feeling that you'd like nothing more than to crack me open and take a look.
I'd like to crack you like a crab. So,
Yo,
Right in half.
respectfully.
Right in half.
Grimdar did it. Great experience.
You could stuff him in a pole.
Good.
But it's like some kind of testing tube.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could stuff him in a test tube.
Yeah, yeah.
Crack him like a crab claw in a test tube.
Grimdar cracked a
Man, like a glow stick.
evil woman in half. She was corrupted. Don't worry about it. It's fine. This is normal.
Stuffed her in a hole.
It would help in not only my knowledge of rust, but I think enlighten you in some ways as well, if that is something that you would like me to do. Yes.
All right. Well, if you're so inclined, I'd like to invite you back to the Grinning House for 1, drinks, 2, for you to review this artifact that we found, and 3, to crack
Bust me open.
Trying to smooch you, sir. With that thing.
I'm gonna have to enter
We'll
from
be
the
in
back.
the safety and security of the Grinning House, which I'm sure, as you know, is pretty secure and safe.
Yes, I appreciate the forwardness. We need to come back to mine for that part. I need...
Are you proposing a second location to me?
Hey, yo! He said rust, flicks, and chill.
Technically back to the
Rust
first...
and bust.
Yeah!
There you go. There it is. Well done.
Thank you.
On this next episode of Rust Busters.
The cab gold is on the side table.
Trail burner gold.
Your goobers outside.
My scrabbler has arrived. I have to go.
In order to properly and... Hold on. Yes, correct. That is... Yes. Those are the 3 steps that Mark II has just proposed. Yes, that's
Wait, mine
right.
didn't load. What does it
Mine
say?
didn't load either.
Step 1, have a drink. Step 2, look at what I have in my bedroom. Step 3, crack me open.
Bust me open.
Bust me open.
In order to properly and safely remove pieces of you while keeping you still functional, I would need to do that here in my workshop.
All right. Well,
These other
As
things,
long as it's done with protection, you have my blessing.
these other things, looking at this artifact that you have found and drinks, certainly can be done in the Grinning House.
No, Busto Gesundheit, stop!
That's his brother's actual name. I
Oh
lied.
my
No,
God.
it's not. But yeah, that's...
Unless.
Hold on, I gotta write that down. Because now we got Banjo Gesundheit, we got Busto Gesundheit. Yes, and I'm gonna be honest, I did not know how to spell Gesundheit prior to this being a name, and then I wrote it so many times. and now I know.
Gesundheit.
Oh, God bless you.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-da.
Yeah.
so then, Andy, Damon, do y'all have anything else y'all need to do before we go back to the Grinning House?
Yeah.
He,
Couple things.
he needs to get rust.
Open like
I
a crab.
gotta get busted open first.
Are you?
He's gonna get the thing that's gonna make him last longer.
Well,
he said.
so before we had made plans, there was the question about the rest of the party's input
His,
on my
viralness.
decision.
Yeah, like I
You
said,
said I'm all good.
do whatever
Now
you
we have
want.
to leave.
That's real nice. Let's get going.
Please notice he wants to go back to the circus
To get busted
Now,
open.
to get busted.
Now, hang on. I forgot the circus was at the Grinning House. Andy, do you have any opinions about Damon here becoming rustful?
I mean, I'm not particularly keen on the idea. but I also had rust placed upon me without my say. It was done to me. I did not have a choice in the matter.
That's the way I always saw it, is that you had qualms with the consent given.
Correct.
You never had a choice. Your
Correct.
people never had a choice.
Correct. I am not privy to the idea of rust now that I am out of the reverie, but you are your own person.
Privy or partial? Privy means you don't know about it.
Oh, I'm not partial to it, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, you yourself use yours.
Frequently, I make lemonade with the lemons I was given. If you are willing to get your own lemons, then who am I to stop
For
it?
what it's worth, the only other person here who's not rust augmented currently in Genevieve says this is a bad idea, and she doesn't think you should go through with it. So just for the counter and viewpoint of do whatever you want.
I'll also just read hers out loud. You're already concerned that you're losing yourself and you want to add rust into the mix?
I will counter-argue that there is the option of him having the fail safety that a lot of other Rust does not have.
I
Bongo
install
offers.
that on everything that I create. That is a non-optional inclusion.
Bongo offers a warranty.
It's a fail-safe. I mean, I agree with Genevieve, I think, as someone who... I mean, Bongo as a... Well, more or less, you're kind of a Rust doctor, if you will. As someone who feels out of touch with themselves, would you recommend implementing Rust onto them?
I cannot completely speak to the philosophical ramifications of whether one should or should not choose to install Rust. I only offer that it is not fully understood that while I can offer the safest option, that does not mean that it is inherently safe. I inherently have Rust myself. I do not have a complete distrust for the technology, but I always ensure that the person knows that I offer no guarantees of safety or fortitude. It will do what I design it to do. I cannot guarantee that it will not also do something else.
I think the better question is, Damon, what exactly are you looking to get?
Like I said, merely something to keep me going should I can't.
Which body part do you think is going to keep you going? Are we talking about your brain, your heart, or another body part altogether?
More so, my constitution. Yes.
You know they make pills for that. Just the slight raise of the eyebrow.
What?
Your constitution in what regard?
From what I gather, he wants something that, should the worst happen and his body fails him, that he can push past that point of failure at least a little.
So you want a second life force, basically. So if you die, something kicks in to keep you going.
You want a defibrillator?
Not necessarily, no.
You want something to carry you beyond your body dying?
He wants just an additional moment.
Right, that's what I mean.
After you've died.
You want something to kick in to, like, let you go just a little bit longer.
Just a little further. Should I need it?
What do you mean a little further? Like, define a little further, like 10 minutes?
A couple steps? A few words? What are we thinking, Damon?
Like about 1 HP, I think.
So, and you want it to function once. So, like, if your body fails, it kicks in and gives you that, like...
I don't know how often it's gonna kick.
We're asking for a very
I don't know Rust. I don't understand how it works.
So you're basically asking for a get out of death free card.
No, what I'm asking for is something that can help me push past my end. Should the worst happen,
Should you die?
something, not die, be pushed to the edge of death, I have something to grab onto to push a little further to finish what needs to be finished.
This is not something that will permanently keep him from death. Immortality is impossible.
Yeah.
It would only extend it.
I don't know how to
briefly.
describe it
Yes.
in character because, like, I know what it is, Glenn,
Yeah.
but, like, I don't know how to describe it in character in a way that Damon would be able to explain it to you.
Chell,
Does
the
Damon
person.
know what it is? Like that? I mean, because that's a.
I'm not a weaver. I don't
So
really know.
Chell understands what you're asking for.
Yeah.
Andy does not, and
Yeah.
is not cool with the idea of you doing this like amorphous thing. Is the problem?
Bongo, with having spoke to me and the Baron, could you explain to my compatriots the augmentation that you were planning?
No.
I don't know how Rose works, so.
This is the first I'm hearing of it.
Who are you? Bongo's gone senile. God damn it.
Who are you?
He's sundown.
You're over there.
You're a wizard. That was Bongo.
Could be. That was in the past.
That was in the past.
that was
How
in
did
the
he get younger? Ooh, how did he get younger?
No.
When one pushes themselves to the brink of physical exhaustion or death, when pieces of your body start to shut down, not in a way that if you were irreparably mutilated or in a way that would be impossible for someone to function. This is not
So not to recover
magic.
from bodily harm, but to recover from like giving up the ghost, for lack of a better term.
Yes, if you
Having the
have
motivation to want to keep going.
less motivation and more the ability to push yourself further, whether that be physical exhaustion or death in battle. If you are at the brink of death, the door simply moves further down the hallway by a small amount. It is not something that, once it's used, it would need to be recharged. It's not something that will work forever, that every time you got to that door, the door would go further. It would just stop you from getting to the door briefly to be able to recover. But if you continue, you will move to the door.
And you think that's an implant you can give us?
Yes.
Remind me real quick, you're monk artificer,
Yes.
fighter,
You're correct, John.
rogue?
Yeah, she's right.
Monk, fighter, rogue? Oh, fuck me. Do any y'all understand magics? Know magics, seen magics?
You said you have artificate.
Yeah, then you would know
Yeah.
something.
I mean, I'm also a monk. I used like key point, whatever
That's
the
not
points
magic.
are.
Yeah, that's not
Either
magic.
way, but yeah.
There is a spell that some of the some clerics are known to possess that essentially does the same thing.
What is this spell?
I've heard tale of
Is it spare the dying? Like,
No.
is it-
Second wind.
feign death. Essentially, they can cast it on themselves in order to continue fighting should they be struck down.
And you think you can give him an implant that'll do that?
I have done it for others. As I said, this is not immortality. It will not stop you from dying. But if it is the difference between failure and one more chance at success, that is what this offers. It offers one additional chance at success when failure may be the only option.
Damon, I trust you to make the right decision.
Oh my god, not Yancey Bin. Hey!
World of Green, thank you very much for the follow and welcome. Thank you so much.
I'm not wearing. Hold on.
Much appreciated.
Now he's a cowboy.
Thank you.
As I understand
Right
it,
at the moment.
the mad only go mad
See,
with rigorous amounts of augmentation.
I was on the, like, do whatever you want, live your best life train, and then you explained to me what it is you're looking for, and
Now it's
I can't help but wonder at what cost that's gonna come.
Because it's cool.
I don't say that.
All the cool kids are doing
Like,
it.
what, don't get, all things come with a price.
Sure.
What's gonna be the price?
Be the price of having Rust implemented.
Well, I mean, that inherently, as we know, is not necessarily a price.
Will there be any physical side effects should this take place?
Well, he said he can't guarantee safety, so
Yeah.
yes.
What I mean is, Rust is not entirely understood. I understand what I am doing with it to invoke a certain effect.
But you don't know how it's doing it.
Not necessarily that I do not understand how, but I do not speak its language entirely. I do not know what else may occur, even if a low risk at this level of Rust. You are correct. The more Rust that someone has implemented into them, the higher the risk is that they will start to succumb to the madness. It is very unlikely that someone with such little Rust would be affected by the madness, but I will not offer you the guarantee that it will never occur, which is why I always put in this kill switch. I have more Rust than I would be putting into Damon, and I am still here with all of my faculties. I have never, since my time in Soulspire Reach, felt the pull of madness.
But what if Rust Madness isn't the only negative? I know that so far that's the biggest, but
If there's another ailment that we're not aware of.
bodies are but machines. If bits of that machine start to break down, and in response you put more power into the machine, sure, you may extend the life of that machine briefly, but at the expense of all of the interior components, which will then lead to much more significant and catastrophic damage to the machine than what might have occurred if you just stopped, pulled back, and repaired the machine.
Jen
So
also-
while I understand what the goal you're attempting to accomplish is that if you push yourself to the brink of death, you can push the brink of death just a little bit further away from you. Rather than doing that, if you find yourself at the brink of death, we can pull back and repair you.
That is not always an option. In the situation for Damon, if you are going after someone like Vinny or someone like Erasmus, being at the brink of death, there may not be pulling back. You have already gone off the cliff into the void. You have already taken the jump. You are right. There may be longer-term side effects to using this.
So will he have the ability to choose whether or not this takes effect? Because, like, what if I don't know, and I don't mean to be crass, but what if like he wakes up in the middle of the night pretty drunk and he's looking for the toilet or the latrine and wanders off a cliff and dies, like fall, bam, and now it kicks in and it's like, oh, I got to give you a couple more seconds of life at the bottom of this ravine.
I'm dead. Oh, everything hurts.
Dead again.
I mean, if the alternative, if he did find himself in such a foolish situation, the alternative would be that he would be dead.
I don't mean that as like a what would happen if. I mean, will he have the ability to choose? So let's say like maybe he doesn't fall off a cliff and dies, but like through a series of events he finds himself at the brink of death. Will he have a choice whether or not this activates? Because
DJ has a thing about shitting and pissing off cliffs. That's why.
Does he have the autonomy to decide when that goes off?
right, because my thought is if it could potentially cause lasting damage and he can't control when it activates, it may activate at a time when he is near death but does not want it to.
But if he is dead, he is dead.
So it'll only take effect if his body dies.
If he were to die, he would simply not.
He would get one.
Briefly.
And he would not have a choice in when that occurred. Correct. In the same way that he can't choose when he. Well, I suppose he.
I can't choose who's gonna die, guys.
Well, I suppose you could.
Could you imagine?
Hey,
do it for real
Bongo,
this time.
let's see if it works.
The argument that you're making is that.
Oh my God!
The argument that you guys are making for him not to get it, which I respect that there does need to be an argument made from the party for people that are
I feel like you guys are digging
wary
for the
of Rust.
mechanics.
But your argument of like, but if he's gonna die, he wouldn't die. Yes,
Correct. That's the point.
correct.
Well, what I
That
mean
is
like,
the point.
If like.
Genevieve would chime in at that point and say, I don't know if I believe you should be so comfortable pushing yourself to the brink of death.
Which is kind of slightly my point, but a little different.
You guys understand what we're up against, right?
No.
Vinny is someone. Forgive the obviousness of the, but Vinny is someone bad enough that the Baron is scared of him.
I hear you.
What's his name?
Erasmus.
Someone like Erasmus is
Martin,
bad enough.
As someone who was
He's
raised
scared of him.
watching people get altered against their will and seeing the full extent of what Rust can do to a person, I think something to this effect is fairly mild in the grand scheme of Rust augmentations. I agree. I don't think him getting Rust is the greatest idea, but at the same time, we have to respect that if he decides to do that, that's his decision to make.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is his decision, but he asked for our opinions.
Yeah.
You know?
Fair. Fair.
I do think I respect the intention of what you're going for. I do. But
I hope that I should never have to use it, but I know that what we're going to be up against is going to be
we're all
something
up
awful enough.
all of us, collectively, each person is up against death. At the end of the day, that's what we're all up against is death. I hear you that you want to prolong yours as much as you can if that time should to come.
If it gives me the few extra seconds to even just give you guys the moment to get away, then I've done my job. That is merely it. It is not about me self-sacrificing. It is not about me accepting and willing death.
But it is about you self-sacrificing. In the example that you just provided yourself,
Sure.
you are sacrificing yourself for us to get away.
You got me.
You son of a bitch.
You got me.
If the idea here is that you're giving yourself I'm going to push myself a little harder button, that's not necessary, and we can work out alternative. I hear you that we're up against a formidable foe. We've already lost one person and thus lost another in response to that person. However, if you have The man who cleans his room expects guests. If you have this fail-safe in
Where
place,
the fuck did you pull that one from?
Confucius over here.
you don't want to know, and I'll tell you after the stream.
Oh man!
He makes a lot of sense though. If
It
you
was
have
in
that-
regards to shaving a butthole.
If you have this kill switch, you'll know it's there. You will sacrifice
You
yourself.
will be more likely to push yourself beyond a state that you otherwise would not have without this switch.
The goal is more so peace of mind.
I hear you, but
who?
you are going to die. Accept the fact that in your life, you are going to die.
Yes, I'm aware.
You can prolong that however long or however much you would prefer, but you are going to die.
I think you should get a hand to match mine, personally. Get really cool high fives.
If you're getting a thing to prolong you not dying, but slightly, you are more likely to push yourself to a state where you are more likely to die because you know you have this fail-safe in place. If you do not have this fail-safe, you are more likely to protect yourself and not push yourself to the brink of death because you know you don't have that pad stopping you from dying.
He makes a really good point.
He does. You're missing one thing, though.
I already had it installed.
You're missing one thing, though.
What's that? Well, nobody asked you, Genevieve.
What? Because she's uncoordinated, or like why?
Double metal high five.
No, Genevieve would also chime in. I don't want anyone else dying for me.
The idea is not to die. And the thing that you'll miss in Mark II, and the thing that's been tearing me up since we became friends, is I know that you will watch me die. Someday. Somehow.
I have no reason to believe I will not. I have no reason to believe I won't die like anybody else. What goes first, your mind or your body?
Subject to change.
Right, you don't know. It's kind of up in the air. The mind and the body are so inexplicably connected that you cannot identify when one goes in place of the other. I am nothing but a mind and a body. I have no reason to believe I won't die like anybody else who is sentient. It may not be my body that goes, it may be my mind. But again, in regular sentient beings, you're not able to identify where that line is. You wouldn't be able to identify when that line occurred for me.
Maybe in a line of sentience, yes, but physicality, you are going to live longer than I will.
My body
Yes.
may. My body will last longer than your body. I will not live longer than you. I have no reason to believe that. I am not my body. You are more than the aggregate of your body parts. You are not a brain and a head and a chest. You are Damon. And Damon is only built upon past experiences and things that are not physical. They are inherently subjective and specific to you, and that is what makes you a person. In the same way that I explained to Bongo how I became sentient over small decisions throughout my life, that is what has made you you. We are not so different, though I am made of metal. This husk may last, but the driving force will fade. Same as you.
That was also a euphemism about a butthole. Bongo. Have you ever met a warforged scared to death?
I've not met a warforged with as such a concrete understanding of life as you, Mach 2, no.
In your professional opinion, you can tell me that's not a warforged. That is a man. That is a man standing before you. And that is the reason That is a thing that I am willing to stake my life on. Which is a part of my reason. It's not that I expect to die. It's my promise to you all that I will do whatever it is to make things right for not just you. Eager man. Black woman. For not just you, but for the people that we promised that we would do right by. It's not so much a get out of jail free card, because Monopoly exists in this universe now somehow. It's not so much that. It's not so much a death wish. It's more so a promise to myself to stick around and see it to the end. To do right by not only you all, but those that promised that I would help.
The best way you can do that is by not pushing yourself to the brink of death, though. I hear you that you don't plan on using this, that you're not getting this implanted with the intention of using it, that you don't have a death wish. That my point is that,
Damon, if we all go the same way Ulysses did, all of us in one big heaping fire, could you live with yourself knowing that you get to stay alive and the rest of us don't?
he wouldn't stay alive, but for a couple of seconds longer than the rest of us, would he be alive?
I'd have to live with that decision, yeah. But that's why I would do everything in my power to make sure that doesn't happen. Like I said, it's a promise, not only to me, but to you all. Anyone I've ever told that I would help.
You're asking us to sit back idly while you essentially sign your suicide note, and
I'm not.
I counter.
I'm not.
This will not prevent your death, right? This is just going to prolong it. I think the best way that you can help us, as well as all the people that you've made promises to, is to not put yourself in a position where you're about to die. I understand that you don't have a say in that matter. None of us do. When that time comes, it comes for all of us, and we all will die one day. I understand you don't have any say in that, and you want this so that way you have some amount of control over your death.
Yeah.
But that's all this is exercising a small amount of control over your own death. This isn't going to prevent, interpose from, or save you from death. You are going to die with this or without this.
Yeah.
I think you are more likely to get yourself killed with it than without it.
Genevieve would chime in and say, I think Damon has made up his mind about this already. And Bongo would say, from what I understand from all of you and from the Baron, your death, the forces that you will go up against in your pursuit of justice, you are all likely to die in your endeavor. What Damon is asking for is just a moment more in a infinite number of possibilities, in an infinite number of versions of Damon, giving himself one more chance that he might succeed.
But it's not one more chance. It's but a little while longer.
Of course, but it is not as if this will hold his life essence inside, and when it is used, that it will fade. It will stop him from dying briefly and keep him going. It is not as though it will keep him alive forever.
Right.
It will not artificially keep him alive when his body has already died.
Correct.
It is just stopping that moment.
But for a brief time.
Yes, it's not that he will immediately die after. it will give him the opportunity to keep on living
To intervene before he
a
dies.
second life, to intervene before he dies if he would die.
I understand.
It is not infinite.
I understand.
He will, as will you all, at some point, die.
Correct.
This just gives him the opportunity to potentially prevent his own death for however brief a moment.
Right, I understand.
Should you find yourself up against a force like Vinny or Erasmus or whatever other things you are going against in your pursuit of justice in this world, having one more step, one more shot, one more bullet may be the difference between the world being saved from people like Vinny, countless lives of children being experimented on from people like Vinny.
Can you promise us you will not use this to go on these suicide missions and throw yourself into the crossfire knowing you have this failsafe?
I will not. I can promise you that. Andy.
You are so frustrating.
Andy, look at me. You were there when they brought me in to the monastery.
Mm-hmm.
After the Adder had his way, damn near killed me. I was pretty much dead when I came in. And you saved me. You saw something of this pathetic sack and said he needs to keep going. And you saved me. It took weeks to get me back up on my feet. But I was on death's door and you said no. You intervened. This is just my Andy. One more time.
Damon, is there anything we can say that would convince you to not do this?
You guys? And I would look at you and Jen. No.
Do you not trust me that I couldn't save you again?
I don't want to have to make it your problem no more.
But you're deciding for me.
I'm not.
You kinda are. Is this because of what happened with Ulysses? You don't think I could save you?
No. It's not. Does not have anything to do with your competence or anything like that. This is my want to not be a burden to you. This is my, like I said, this is my promise.
Is that what you think you are, Damon? You think you're a burden to me?
No.
You think you're mine to take care of, that you're dragging us around?
No.
You are your own person. You can make your own decisions. I will never make a decision for you. I would be no better than the Reverie if I took your autonomy from you. If you decide you want to go this path, that is your decision to make. But I do think your friends make some good points, that you have had a couple loose screws. And I do think that that augmenting your body is fail-safe as this is. There are some risks that come with it.
Those loose screws are just grief.
I've lost a lot in my life too, and I understand people grieve differently, but forgive us if we're a little concerned about how loose those screws are.
This is no snap decision for all of you. There's no this plan. This is an ass that's been in the weeks of making. This is something I spoke to the Baron upon our first meet.
Bongo, is this something that can be removed once it's installed?
Yes, nothing short of chopping off a limb is inherently permanent. It could, of course, be removed should you get to the point that you have completed your goals, that you have killed these people that you need to kill, invoked the justice you need to invoke. It can be removed, yes. This is not permanent. Yours is permanent should you wish to live with 2 limbs, but yours is not inherently permanent. Some is. This is not something he could remove on his own like you could your hand, but yes, it is removable.
Like I said, it's my promise.
It's your
I see
decision.
this to the end. Once all the bad is done with, I will happily come back here and get rid of it. And live out quietly the rest of my life. Unfortunately, quiet was never in the cards for me from the first place.
It's your decision to make. It is not mine.
Bongo. I have maybe 2 questions.
Of course.
The first being,
Will this hurt?
how do I phrase this? Does it come in blue? I had 2 questions. One of them's completely gone from my head. I thought too hard about the other question. Oh, God.
What's the other question?
What
No,
do you,
thought too hard about the first one. Damn it.
what do you know about the figure that's seen floating above the lake in
Windfall.
Windfall?
The Lady of the Lake.
Yeah.
I have heard its tale. I myself try to investigate or have investigated for me any strange sightings of shadowy figures after my own experience. I know of the lady, yes.
What do you see her as?
In what sense do I believe she is malicious?
Well,
Or what?
I guess either malicious or benevolent. Pure hokum. Whatever. Do you see her as just an entity, mythos, or even a death caller?
Whether she is benevolent or not, she and the lake itself, like a siren, calls people to her waters. Many valuable things in Lightning Lake. Much rust falls there, hence the name. Same with Windfall itself as a city, but I do not understand enough about what the intentions of such a being might be.
You said it calls to people.
People witness it, but there are many people that dive in the waters of Lightning Lake searching for descended pieces of valuable rust. I don't mean to indicate that that is her doing, but if she is the lady of the lake, it is her lake, so named. I think that her presence is not necessarily irrefutable, but like a legend, people will seek it out.
You spoke of a cave that spoke to you.
Yes.
Is it so far-fetched to think that a lake could call to someone?
I think it would be unwise to believe that there are not other buried things that call out to others.
See, I had a dream. Couple.
Martin Luther King Day.
Wow.
Sorry.
Yikes. Good night. No, I had a dream a couple nights ago that showed me some strange things. there was a figure in what appeared to be some sort of full armored plate of some kind, and a figure reaching out from the lake. Now, from what I understand, Andy over here her people seem to think that it was some sort of a death calling.
An omen, if you will.
And then, old friend Ulysses once said something about seeing the lady as well. Or hearing tale of it, at least. You see, the hand that reached out for me, that was in the lake, the hand was made of rust. I don't know if it's a calling. I don't know if it's an omen. I don't know what it is. But that is something that has informed my decision. Partially. The second question that I had for you, I did think of it. Has any Warforged ever fallen from those wrecks?
There are Warforged that have fallen, yes. The majority of the Warforged that have been found in wrecks, in ships that have fallen. They are not constructed by weavers. That is far beyond our scope and complication of. We take pieces of them and utilize them in our own works, but we are not capable of constructing a living, near sentient being. No, they come from the remnants. Yes.
Have you ever found anything resembling a pod?
A pod?
Yeah.
Like a ship?
No. I mean, a clear capsule, roughly the size enough to fit a human, whatever likes. Maybe it's some integrated technology that could be a screen. You ever found anything like that or heard anything about like that?
There are pieces similar to that in some of the ships, but nothing survives a fall, especially nothing made of glass survives a fall from the stars above like that. Nothing inside, no people.
I was scared you might say that.
These are primarily, I suppose, similar to what you said, but there is no signs of life inside any of these ships. They are pieces that fall from the sky like a star falling to the surface. Some people believe it in a more religious sense, that the sky is bequeathing gifts to the people of the surface. They, like the Reverie, worship rust as a sort of god, that they listen to its voice, but it is not as if it gives life. This concept of people being housed inside of things is not something I have seen. Glass, certainly areas where something like you described might have existed, yes. But these ships fall an innumerable distance and crash into the surface, exploding into fragments. we are lucky to get the larger pieces that we have to be able to create things that we create. But they are wrecks.
See, I'd only ask because I forget what the hell I took. Is it Brimgrin? Oh god.
Hold on.
I also just remembered that I have a date that I kind of blew off.
Grim's the
No, it's
dead
not
man's
Brimgrim. Whispertine.
Yes, Whisper Time.
You see, I took some Whispertine the other night. And that's what I was shown. A life that I thought I had altered, slightly different than I could remember. Interspersed with views from inside of this chamber. A glass capsule containing some sort of viscous liquid in which I was floating. A screen stood before my eyes. Letters that just showed to be rust. And a face on the other side of that glass. A warforged staring back at me. Flashes of my altered life once more. And then I remember the pod draining and me falling. That's why I asked Bongo. What the fuck did I see?
We'll end on that note.
Well.
Okay.
Thank you all very much for watching this evening. World of Green, thank you again for the follow, and Sarah, thank you again for the resub. We appreciate it immensely. If you are new here, make sure you follow so you can find your way back, because the sands of time don't flow like that. Found it this time, DJ. I remembered. If you're new here, you can go on our website, NotGreatRPG.com. We've got links to our podcast. We've got links to text recaps of the episodes in brief format if you're trying to catch up.
And old
everything is on and old campaigns. We've got stuff on YouTube. Anywhere that you'd like to catch up and try to consume our content, you can find it on our website. We should be live again next Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're calling for some snow on Sunday, so that's the only possible snafu, depending on if that storm materializes or not. I've also heard the word blizzard. So I will say
I've
that
also heard the word
tentatively.
lizard.
Lizard. So tentatively, we will see you.
too.
I've heard wizard. You're a wizard.
There's gonna be a wizard on Sunday.
We ideally will see you again next Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, be safe out there on the frontier.
Bye.